Hello, this is Thomas K4SWL. If you're new here, I like to do real-time, real-life amateur radio field activation videos. And today, I'm at Tuttle Educational State Forest, which is one of my favorite parks. I say that a lot about some of my favorite parks, but I love this one. It's not a big detour for me to come here, and it is nearly ideal in terms of how a POTA activator would look at it. You can see all these picnic tables with massive trees around. It is just, it's so easy to set up any kind of antenna you can dream of here. And the park rangers love it when you come out and play POTA. They encourage it. They've even encouraged me to explore different parts of the park. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. They even have open fields here, and they have about 5 miles worth of trails out here. I've done trail side activations, and I love it. It's a wonderful park. And actually, I come out here, normally it's like this, very, very quiet. There aren't a lot of people here. And you can hear a little noise from, there's a road over here nearby at this part of the park where I'm set up right now. You hear a little traffic noise, but the bulk of the park is actually really far away from all that stuff. But I came in today, and there are actually 2 big school buses full of school kids on a field trip. It's great to hear kids out here enjoying being outdoors and learning about sustainable forestry practices and identifying trees and plants and all that good stuff that the park rangers do. I won't be identifying a lot of trees today. Hopefully I will be identifying some chaser call signs in this activation. Looking at this, it is one of the messier sites I've ever had during a park activation. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. First of all, let me tell you about the antenna I've set up here. I've got an end-fed half-wave, 40-meter end-fed half-wave set up. This is my buddy Steve, MW0SAW, who sent me this, and he just did it to be kind. I've used this in, oh gosh, probably 4 or 5 videos now, mainly because it's been packed away in my pack, and it's an end-fed half-wave. And I have been mobile a lot lately, mobile just meaning traveling a lot here regionally, and so this guy has been with me in my pack, so I've been using it. It's just so convenient. I see a big mess of line over there. I shot this line way up into the tree, basically set this up as an inverted V shape, and for some reason it pulled out a whole bunch of the line from my bag, so it's all over the ground over there. One of the negatives I will say about, I love this 2mm line actually, and this has kind of become my preferred line in a lot of ways, mainly because it packs down so small. But the negative is, it is terrible with like a forest floor like this to pick up leaves and twigs and stuff, and it'll cause it to knot. This isn't a knot actually, it just hasn't unfurled or whatever all the way. That is one negative. So when I actually pack this up, I won't do it right here. I'll probably pull the line over over there and do all of, use the figure-8 method to wind it up and put it back in the bag. Because like little leaves and twigs and things, it'll pick it up, it'll cause like a little knot, and you have to go and pull it out. It's not a big deal. And I don't mind that inconvenience when I can get a really long throw line into such a super compact little pack. So I'm quite pleased actually with this throw line. I tend to use it more now than anything else. So what do I have the end-fed half-wave hooked up to? Maybe you saw it off to the side of the video, but I have got a Mountain Topper MTR-4B, and I am really looking forward to putting it on the air. Now, this radio came to me by the way of a reader over at qrpr.com and a viewer over here on YouTube. He actually ordered this radio from L&R Precision and asked if I'd like to review it. And what he did, it's so kind of him, he actually drop shipped this directly from L&R Precision to me. And then I'm going to use it a little bit, do a little review of it, and then I'm going to ship it over to him, which is so kind of him. Yeah, I really appreciate it. He didn't care to have his name put out there. He's just doing this kind of anonymously. Very, very nice of him, though, to do this. He even told me, hey, don't worry about if you get little scratches on it and stuff like that. Obviously, he's watching my videos. But he said, don't worry, it's a field radio. You treat it like a field radio and don't worry about it too much. I've had this now maybe a month and a half or so, and I've used it a fair amount in the shack actually, but I had a very crazy March. which was last month. And I kind of got behind on a lot of things. And so today I'm actually bringing it out to the field for the very first time, and I'm really looking forward to it. I have done a little park chasing and things from the house with it, and it'll just be nice to bring it out in the field. This radio wants to be in the field, so I'm happy to bring it out here. So what I'll do is kind of set up things and maybe talk about the little radio before we hop on the air, and give you some of my initial thoughts about it, and then we'll see how it plays on the air. So this is the MTR-4B, the Mountain Topper by L&R Precision. It's actually designed by Steve Weber, and this radio is a proper work of, I guess you'd say, like iterative agility. This radio started out life as a little Altoid tins based kit radio that people built, that Steve had designed, and it became so popular. People wanted it in a non-kit form at one point, and he kept developing it and innovating on it, and started working with L&R Precision to make these. And these are manufactured here in North Carolina, actually, by L&R Precision, which is they're a great company, family company, and they're small, and they do these in small batches. So one thing you need to know, if you order an MTR-4B, you are probably going to wait, at least at present, at time of posting this video, you're probably going to wait about somewhere between 6, maybe even as much as 8 weeks. I think we waited about 6-7 weeks on this one. Again, thanks so much to my reader and subscriber who has lent this to me. I really appreciate it. It's so nice getting this radio out in the field finally. So I'll talk very briefly about the radio. These have been around for a while, so it's not like there aren't other YouTube videos about it, but I'll tell you some of my take on the Mountain Topper series, and this one in particular. So I'm a big fan of the Mountain Topper series. This was one of the radios that really encouraged me to get into doing CW activations. These are CW only radios. They are QRP. This one has a maximum output power, I think, of 5 watts. And they're very small, very trail friendly. You can see this is being, I can hold this in my hand very, very easily. They are almost designed specifically for doing field activations. They have a lot of functions and functionality that you would use for that, and almost nothing else. They're extremely basic radios. This is a 4-bander, so it has 80, 40, 30, and 20 meters, and you do the band switching by moving these switches. So if I move up to 40, I have to move all of these switches to this first position, well, I should say the second position switch. And if I go up to 30, I have to move it up one more, and move all this one up, and this one up one more. They have to be in alignment. And then 20 is all the way to the far right. Now, if there's a criticism of this radio that I've heard, and I tend to agree with this, 80 meters is a kind of an interesting addition to this radio because it is designed for trail use and almost specifically SOTA activators. Summits on the Air activators love the Mountain Top series. And 80 meters is not the most kind of summit-friendly band because it usually requires a pretty big antenna to really carry that off. But I have seen Summit activators use 80 meters before, and I've certainly used it in parks on the air, but not very often. It probably would have been a little more useful to have like the 17 or 15 meter band up here. Summit activators especially tend to go for the higher bands rather than the lower bands to keep those antennas really short. These radios have no speaker. There's no speaker here. There's no volume control. So if you buy one of these radios, you need a set of earphones that have an inline volume control. And this one is a really bad example, actually, because what you want to avoid is what this one has, which are these volume controls that are not analog. This is like a electronic thing. In fact, it's not even a volume control. I think it's used for mute or something. These are designed around smartphone use, but I don't use the volume on these particular earbuds because I use this recorder for videos when I'm using radios like this now. And this has the volume control on it, so it's actually very easy to tailor the volume for me as an operator here in the field, and I like it. So I use a recorder to do that. If you buy a set of earphones, though, make sure that you're getting one with an analog or mechanical volume control slider switch. You know what? I'm a little concerned that a thunderstorm may be brewing behind me. The wind and the clouds and everything are changing. I better make this quick. So really, you plug in your paddles, and you got a place for paddles, your earphones, and your power cable. Now, the MTR-4B and the MTR-3B have two different barrel connectors. This is a little bit bigger radio, so you can get away with a little slightly larger barrel connector. I think they kept it really small with the MTR-3B just to, well, just to kind of keep the profile of the thing a lot smaller. So if you have an MTR-3B, don't think that you can use your barrel connector on the MTR-4B. This radio does not have an internal battery, no internal antenna tuner. Not that I'd necessarily even expect those. It doesn't have an encoder of any sort, but you can use these up and down arrows in a combination with another button to press down to make it tune faster, but you can basically press and hold and tune through the band. There's even a function that I've been using lately where you can send the frequency and CW, and it'll take you directly to that frequency, sort of like a direct entry, which is actually pretty convenient. Yeah, it's super basic. Now, compared to, I'm very familiar with the MTR-3B, and this is the 3B. I love this radio. It is even smaller. This is about the size of a pack of playing cards. L&R no longer makes these. I don't think they're ever going to make these again. I don't know, but I have a hunch that they're not going to make these anymore. They may make another iteration of the Mountain Topper, but I'm not so sure it'll be the 3B. So these are kind of sought after in the used market now. I had someone recently offer me just an insane amount of money for mine, which I didn't do it. Of course, I love this radio, and I've given this radio a name, so I'm not gonna get rid of it. But it's almost identical in the layout as the MTR-4B, but you can see it's a lot smaller. I say a lot smaller, but we're talking about very small radios here to begin with. I mean, the MTR-4B is very much a small radio, but it's smaller in every dimension. It's not as deep as this radio is, not as wide. And yeah, but the MTR-3B, of course, has 40, 30, and 20. It does not have the 80-meter band like the MTR-4B does. Another really important factor, actually, looking at these radios. So the MTR-3B, if you talk to any owner, they'll tell you, and it says so in the manual too, that you don't want to push this into like 13-volt range. Like a lot of our lithium iron phosphate batteries and portable batteries, really, they'll label them as a 12-volt battery, but they're really sometimes putting out about 13.2 volts or so. You don't want to do that with the MTR-3B, because the 3B really doesn't want more than about 12 volts. And if you're running 12 volts into it, you really need to have a really good match on your antenna. You don't want any SWR. I've heard, in fact, I think Steve Weber even told me that you can push these a little bit beyond 12 volts, but there is risk because you really do need to have a really well-matched antenna to keep from damaging it. So many of the people like me actually run this with 9 volts, and it gives us 3 watts out, and we're very happy. So I usually run my Mountain Topper MTR-3B with a 9-volt battery, which is really putting out about 10 volts, and I get 3 watts with it. The MTR-4B does not have the issue. It can be pumped up to a full 5 watts with just a regular 12-volt battery. So you may be really getting around 13.2 volts or 4 volts. I don't know. It can handle that. I still always say, that you need to have a good matched antenna with one of these anyway. But yeah. Oh, yes, one other important thing. If you look on the back, you'll notice that the MTR-4B has a little hole here. That is so that you can change, I think there's like a little, I think they call it like a trimmer pot or something inside. I'm trying to remember what it looked like in here. But that's how you change the side tone volume. And I have not changed the side tone volume of this radio. And mainly because you need to use a non-conductive screwdriver. And I don't have a single non-conductive screwdriver. I don't have like a nylon screwdriver that I can use in this, so I haven't done it yet. When I do use it, I'll probably pop off the sides of it and get in there like I do with my MTR-3B. But if you have a non-conductive screwdriver, you can actually adjust it without having to open the chassis of the radio. And that's a pretty nice feature, actually. Yeah, so anyway, enough talking. While the weather's holding, I need to put this little guy on the air and see what we can do today. Now, I have heard, I've heard from my buddy Mike, K8RAT, that we are having some really, really rough conditions today, propagation-wise. So I'm happy I deployed the NFET half wave. It'll be a little more capable of managing that, I think, than, a more compromised antenna. So let's give this a go. Okay, I'm back now, and I've got the radio all hooked up, and made my log sheet, got everything ready. Actually brought AC log over here, and I'll be logging electronically on the side here just to make it a little easier. You can't really see it with the camera, but I've got it right there. So let's get going here before a storm rolls in or something. That is the one thing about being in the southeast U.S. During the springtime. If you're doing park activations, and especially summit activations, you got to be really careful. In the afternoon, we have pop-up thunderstorms. I'm not really expecting one today. It's not quite that hot, but when it starts to really heat up, like in May and especially in the summer, you could just get those without warning. You have to always be ready to pack up when that happens. But let's cross our fingers. I don't think anything like that's going to happen today. It wasn't in the forecast, but we're getting clouds here that I wasn't seeing in the forecast either. So I've started on 20 meters this time, and we'll see if we can't make some contacts. Now, I need to go ahead and spot myself. I entered everything here. I've got internet access here, so I can do this. So I'll just start calling CQ here, and also I need to send a spot to my friends, Mike and Eric, and let them know where I am. You can probably hear a little noise. Let's get started. The pollen is so bad today. Everything is already coated in pollen, and I've only been here a few minutes. That is how crazy it is here this time of year. I hope that side tone's not too loud. I'm going to go back and listen to the recording, but it's too loud. Okay, we'll call CQ again. Actually, I'm gonna get a little water first. Then I'll call CQ. I think the K index is very high today too. Mike was telling me to keep my expectations in check. Texas today. See, I'm using a memory keyer now. Oh my goodness. There we go. There's no signal meter on here or anything like that. I'm just using my ears. I think that person thought they got me. That's the only issue, because I was doing K1R and I got 2 responds back, and it could be that they were both K1R stations. So I don't know how to tell the other person, though. Hang on a second, I had another K1R station in CW, and make that sound like anything. So I may have missed somebody. I'm sorry if you thought you worked me there. That's the way things work out sometimes, but I couldn't quite hear where that station was located. It is definitely quieter in the bands. My keying is bad today, but this keyer is excellent on this radio. We're going to move down to the 40 meter band here in a second. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and move. So to move to the 40 meter band, I'll go down to this switch here. Sorry, I thought I heard something, but then I realized that's just the band switching. So it actually gives you the number of the meter. So if it'll do a 4 right now. When you have them all lined up, you'll hear the noise floor come up a little bit. Actually, it's not the noise floor. You just hear the band come alive. because that sets up, I guess, all the filtering and everything as well. So now let's move this to the 40 meter band. Let me make sure I go into my log here and tell it 40 meters. And here we go. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get this started. So I got 4 contacts so far. It's not too bad. Let me give, where are we? We're at 7043, so I want to go up. How is it? I think on this one, yeah, there we go. So on the MTR-4B, I get these two confused. I think the MTR-4B, if you press the up arrow, then maybe you press the down arrow at the same time, it makes it go faster. On this one, it's you press like the up or down arrow plus the FN button, and that makes it go faster. So let's go to my regular frequency here. See if we hear anybody. As let me just send a note to my buddies, see if they can hear me. Okay, let's see. 18. Let's get this set up. I got it set up on the log. We're good to go. Here we go. Now the reverse beacon network will catch up with me here in just a second. This pollen is insane. My phone, everything's covered in pollen just from being out here this long. Good to get you in here. You never let me down, K3ES, except for the days you're not on the band. I really appreciate the call. I'm doing that only because I want to change this to a Z, look a little bit better. And that was KY, I think, Kentucky. contacts there, Mike. Ahead of myself there. He's always 5'9", always 5'9". Okay, I think I heard. Okay. Okay, sorry. Okay. There we go. Can't copy today. There are days when my brain just doesn't work as well. This is one of those days. That's the name of the game, though. Lots of Ohio today. There we go, I got him that time. Got you in here. I'm glad I got you. He's who I was hearing up here. slapping keying today. I don't know why. You know, the bands are definitely not up to their normal pace today. I've got to admit, now it'll be interesting seeing the QSO map, but I can't remember a time where it's almost specifically gotten New Jersey, Rhode Island, and in that area, a lot of Texas and Ohio. I've never had it so heavily in just those particular areas. Very interesting. I'll call like twice more and then I'm gonna hop off the air. Another Ohio. It's so fascinating. Good to get you in here. Charlie Fikes, November. Okay, and we'll just turn this off. There we go. Now what I'm going to do, let's see, let me send a message to my buddies here. There we go. And let's see how many I got. I got a total of 18. Not bad. 18 logged. And we'll send this note to my buddy Mike so he knows. This was definitely, there was no question. This was definitely kind of a more challenging activation due to, you could tell that conditions were a little unsettled. The QSB was pretty deep on a couple of the contacts. You can tell if you're listening to this or you're in the field doing operating and if you hear a station that sounds really weak and you give them like a, it always makes me feel funny, I give them like a 339 report or a 449 or a 55 report. And then when they come back to you, they're like 59 plus 20. That happens sometimes when you've got fading like this. And, but hey, you know, don't ever let propagation stop you from hitting the field. I went out on a day when we were having horrible geomagnetic storms and everything. I still was able to make my contacts. Usually you can these days. There are enough people in POTA. There was a time, I will say this, early on in POTA, when POTA was a lot younger, there was a time when you go out and it was a little harder to work stations when propagation was bad because there were just less hunters. So propagation took out a few more, and so it just made it hard for you to complete an activation on a really bad propagation day. These days, it is not a problem. In CW or single sideband or digital or whatever, you don't let it stop you. If you've got an hour's time, you can easily knock out contacts. Like this was what, 26 minutes total? And I've got 18 contacts. That's really good in bad conditions. So, yeah, I do love this radio. I gotta say, man, there's just something about these Mountain Toppers that's just so appealing. They're just marvels of CW engineering. I do love my little radio here, Tuppence. This is one I'll never let go of. Like I said, someone offered me a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money. And first of all, I couldn't, with a clear conscience, even take that money. I told them to look around, that they'd be able to find one if they offered, you know, just kind of a nice sum on a one to buy in an ad like at qth.com. They could probably find it, because they were just offering me an insane amount of money for this one. But I love this radio. This will go on me this summer. I'm planning a very, very long trip up in Canada with the family, and this will be one of the radios I take. I can't take a lot of radios, and right now I'm trying to make that decision process. I may write a post about that, because I've got a lot of radios to choose from. But in the case, I can't just take, you know, 5 radios with me. Our space is super, super limited for such a long trip, a long car trip. So I've got to limit it. I'm limiting myself to the little Mountain Topper here. And I'll probably send this on to its rightful owner before my trip to Canada, of course. So this one will get sent on. I may end up getting one of these myself, but I'll probably take the Mountain Topper with me, and then another radio. And right now, decisions. I can't decide which one to take, but that's one of the fun things about plotting a nice trip, is making these decisions up front. So anyway, yeah, thank you so much for coming along with me today. I'm very pleased with the results from this little activation. And yeah, I mean, it's weird. I mean, do you see this too? It's like, I've never had so many New Jersey contacts. It's not a ton, but it's weird for me to even get one New Jersey contact. Lots of Ohio's. I do get Ohio, but it's funny, on 20 meters, I got Texas, and, you know, I don't know. It just looks like a really weird pattern to me. Normally I'd get more Pennsylvanias. I'd get a couple of Ohio's. I'd get way more Michigans. I didn't get a single Michigan today. The path was just not open there. Pretty sure my buddy WD8RIF in southeastern Ohio may have been trying to work me as well, but I couldn't hear him. I think he may be at the radio today. I'm not sure. So, yeah, well, you never know when you go out. It's sort of like fishing. You don't know what's going to happen when you throw the line into the water, but you do know this: you're not going to catch all of the fish, and that's okay. So yeah, hey, thank you so much for joining me again. I am going to pack up quickly and then hop off the air, and hopefully get this video uploaded before too long. As with all my videos, I just ask that you check the link below, because there's a link in the description below that goes to my field report on qrpr.com. I spend at least, I mean, a very minimum of 3 hours writing those up. I put a lot of details in, and links and photos and everything else I can think of. And I do that so you've got some detail to go along with the video. I really see myself as a blogger who writes, you know, field reports, and then to me the videos are really just kind of a supplement to the blog post. So please go down there. I get a lot of questions about gear and stuff that I'm happy to answer, but almost every single time the answer is in that blog post that accompanies this. Also, thank you so much for just coming along with me today and sitting here next to me as we took the Mountain Topper MTR-4B on the air. Very happy to get this little hot rod of a radio on the air. If you're considering a CW-only radio, this is a very, very good one. Now, I will tell you that I'm probably going to back off on the side tone a little bit. This is the default side tone setting, and I feel like for my recordings, I'm pretty sure later on I'm going to hop back on here and listen to this and probably turn it down, because I suspect in the video I'm going to find that the side tone is just a little too strong. So I'll probably back off a little bit, but you can totally adjust the side tone. I did it on my MTR-3B and it sounds wonderful now. I don't like a super loud side tone, and this one was pretty punchy. So that is one negative with the Venus SW3B, which is also a great little radio and about the same size almost as the Mountain Topper. It's a wonderful little radio, but the side tone is, you almost have to do a component change out to change it in there. And that's a shame, because I feel like it's like a little too punchy for me as well. I kind of like a little quieter side tone. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. If you get a chance, hop out there and play a little radio outdoors or chase some field activators. Just get on the air. And as always, let's all treat each other with kindness, make this a better world to live in. Stay healthy, stay happy, and until next time, 7 3s.